Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson here. We are live with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. We have an amazing guest, an amazing topic that we'll get to in a second. We're talking all about door knocking, and so we're going to answer some questions as well from the Facebook group on that and other topics. But before that, let me just speak to anyone that's watching the replay here on YouTube. Go ahead and hit subscribe. That way you get our future videos as well as other real estate coaching content. And then if you prefer the audio version, if you want to listen to us in the car or at the gym, head on over to iTunes or Stitcher and subscribe there. And while we wait for people to jump on and watch us live, we just want to thank you for doing that. You can join us here every Monday, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific, and then Friday mornings at 11 a.m. Pacific, and watch us backstage record these live. So it's going to be a lot of fun. As always, I am your certified Greg Wrangler, Matt Johnson. I got a kick out of that. Somebody said that because the junior grandmaster himself, Greg McDaniel, is here, and he will not be tamed.
No, I will not. I'm a wild Mustang. I'm going to run the wild plains of podcasting until the day I am killed, Matt, or until you kill me, one of the two.
Yeah,
who knows what's going to take place?
Statistically much more likely to happen.
Yes. I'm actually watching it. I got sucked into like a show of all about horses, so running the wild plains as a wild Mustang just kind of flowed out of me. But man, I got to tell you, I've got to tell you, we are so blessed. We have so many cool ass people that we work with and listen to and follow and interact with on this show. But our reach is expanding to, like we've talked about, people outside of real estate. They're just starting to watch us and follow us and get a kick out of us. I met a guy that was on. I liked him. I followed him on LinkedIn. He told me that he loves our podcast. He's a fellow agent. But it's just really cool to meet our listeners when we go out there and actually just interact with people. Like I just did my first Facebook Live, everybody. Bryan, Matt, now it's double live. Everyone's like, oh no, fuck, we're dead. Too much Greg. No, but it's a lot. It is a lot of fun, guys. I'm getting blown up on comments and everything right now. It's really cool. Try this stuff, man. I mean, if you like doing this and kind of hanging out with us on this thing, do the same thing for your people. They want to talk to you. They want to follow you. They want to support you. You know, Bryan's just going to make it rain today about door knocking. Everybody wants to know about how to do doors, so I'm challenging you, Bryan. I don't even know you yet, but here's my first gauntlet. Now, I challenge you to do live Facebook door knocking in Beverly Hills as you go through a gate with security and pit bulls.
Easy.
And
done.
And watch him survive, everybody. This is what he'll do for you.
That's right. It's a good thing you have a background in athletics, right? Because you may have to run.
I've outrun a few dogs already.
So, well, let's take a second and officially introduce you, Bryan Casella. I'm sure people know you from your YouTube channel as well as speaking and all kinds of stuff like that. Bryan, what's up today? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me. You know, I've actually got word of the show from Tom Miller. I'm sure you know Tom Miller. He told me about it. And what's funny is I've watched some of Greg's videos back before I started. I remember, I forget what video it was, Greg. You said the first thing you do when you knock on the door and you introduce yourself is you hand them the flyer. And I was like, oh, I remember that. So as soon as I saw you on this, I was like, oh, yeah, I used to watch this guy's videos back when I started.
Oh,
you know, when you start, you're looking for information, and I was like, you know what? So I recognized you right away. So, you know, thank you guys for having me.
No shit. That's awesome.
If it's glorious. If anybody would like to see Greg before he, like not tan and wearing, like, I don't know, wearing glasses, just go to our website, McDanielRealEstateSystems.com, and click on media. I've got those posted there, mostly for my own amusement. But they did get a lot of views.
Yeah, I have tens of thousands of views on them, and Bryan, I think the ones you're referring to are the ones I'm wearing a white shirt, sitting at a desk, and I go through like the four different things you should do. Yeah, dude, you know why I did those videos? Because when I was doing the Real Agile sales, I got so flippin' tired of having to explain myself over and over and over and over. It's like, just go watch my freaking videos. Damn it, you know. But you know what? They people, like you said, I had someone reach out to me because of those videos, and it was the creepiest thing. He's like, you don't know me, but I know you. I watch you every morning. I'm like, excuse me? Who's calling? This is not funny anymore. But yeah, it's fun, man. I'm glad you liked them, man.
All right, so Bryan, give us kind of the 5-minute version of what your background is, when you got in the business, what you're doing now, and where you're at.
Cool. Well, to keep it short, I was an athlete before. I went to college, high school, played basketball, played overseas. I played in Spain for a little bit. I played in South America. And, you know, one thing I want to say is when I got into the business of real estate right after that, you know, coming from basketball, I was told the whole time, give up, you're not going to do well. You know, I had already gone through that road. And when I got into real estate, guess what happened? I have my friends, my family, and everybody that knows me saying, dude, you don't know how to sell. You've never done it. You don't even own a suit. What are you doing? So I'm like, okay, right. So I'd already said in my head, I said, okay, whatever happens, I'm going to do it. And that's basically what happened, man. All I did was take my focus, energy, discipline, and all the good qualities I got from basketball and applied it to real estate, right? Mm-hmm. So what a lot of people don't know is when I said, okay, I'm going to get into real estate, that's when I hopped on YouTube, even before I started the courses to get my license. And I started watching, videos like Greg's and learning. I was hopping on Mike Ferry and saying, okay, I'm going to learn how to sell. I'm doing the courses. I'm already going to my office and doing the training, learning the scripts, following agents, taking agents out to lunch and saying, hey, I want to kill it. When I start, what do I need to do? Just that hunger. I literally took my same path from basketball and applied it to real estate. So by the time I even got my license, I had already gone through transactions with agents, learned the contracts, learned all the scripts and dialogues, memorized my listing presentation, role played in front of my office, recorded it, studied it, critiqued it. So,
what he's saying right now, Matt, is honestly that is exactly what agents need to do. And the guys, we apologize, we're having some technical issues. Brian's gonna be coming in and out. There you are. You're back.
Keep getting kicked out. So, continuing the story, like I said, I was so far ahead. By the time I got my license, I had the confidence of Kobe Bryant. I tell people, and I started just door knocking like crazy. I remember Greg saying he was out there. I think you had a story where you were out there in the rain and it was getting in your shoes. See, I remember that stuff, man, because you were one of the few people who had real estate related content on YouTube, right? And that's, I mean, we could talk about the YouTube later, but that's what gave me an idea to continue the YouTube. But I said, okay, if this guy made it happen and he can do it in the rain, I'm in Southern California. It's nice, it's warm, but I can do it. And I just went hardcore. I got my first listing within, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks. I got another one a couple days later, just from, door knocking. And I do calling too, but I really built my database and most of what I have now from door knocking. And it's led to so many other opportunities and personal growth and development that.
Well, something that he's talking about right now is the fact that, the best way to go out and, like you said, build your database is because of the fact that you're having an interpersonal relationship that you're building with the people that you're meeting at the front door. They can't hang up the phone on you. They're not going to spit on you or chase you down with sticks or guns. Actually, I did meet a guy at the front door one time, Brian, that literally had like a 45 on his lap on a wheelchair and said, I think it's time for you to leave, son. I'm like, you got it. I got it.
Right.
But all right, well, very cool. Well, we'll get into kind of the story and how the door knocking really affected both of you. I wanted to just quickly take a question from the Facebook lead gen scripts and objections on just a general question, and then we'll give some shout outs to some people, mention some lovely and talented sponsors, and then we'll really dig into the door knocking side of it. And then, remind us, Brian, to come back to the YouTube because we want to talk about kind of what you're doing, what we're doing, and kind of like how people are helped by all this content just being out there for free. So I want to make sure that we get a chance to talk about that before the end of the show. So on the Facebook group, the lead gen scripts and objections group, Denise Webster asks, thoughts on this objection. The objection is, I'm planning on using a family friend as my agent. I'm not sure if it matters, but I wanted to let you know before the meeting. So while we wait for Brian dropped off for a second, or might have dropped off, but he's back. So the question was, I'm planning on using a family friend as an agent. So basically, how do you handle that? And we'll start with Greg and then have Brian jump in.
Okay, well, there's a couple of ways that you can do that. It depends on kind of the context, but something I would recommend and quantify where this family friend lives. Most likely, they may not even be in the area that you're working in. Then if they ask them where they live, let's just play the scenario that they're not in the exact area. Let's say for me, like I'm in Danville. Let's say they're in San Jose, so that's like an hour drive away, right? I would say, you know what, Matt, I truly appreciate that you're going to use Brian and one of your family friends. Hey, you know what? We do the same thing. We love the loyalty like this. The worst thing that can happen is have someone represent your interests in a marketplace where they're unknown and they might not know the area as well. So what I would suggest is I would say, you know what? Let's us sit down, see if we have some synergy. And then if I know that when there is some, I would be happy to pay Bryan, a 25% referral fee, because I know it's important to help friends and family pay the bills and, get ahead and, get the book, get the numbers for their books for the year. So I'd be happy to cut them a standard 25% referral fee just for, being your go-to guy, and we'll handle everything, the day-to-day nuts and bolts, and help you sell it here because we're well known in the area, we're well respected, we're networked into the neighborhoods, and then ultimately your goal, if I'm understanding our conversation correctly, is that you ultimately want to sell it the fastest and for the highest price. Is that correct? Okay, I thought so. So let's sit down and let's start talking. Let's see if we have, if we can get to know each other a little bit. So basically, with that script, I would I would compliment them. I wouldn't assume that we're going to be working together, even though I know they will, because they're going to fall in love with me, because I'm going to charm the pants off of them. And I'm going to offer to, I'm buttering them up, saying, look, I respect the fact that you have a friend or a family member in the business. Why don't we pay him for not doing anything but just being born? And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, is that cool? Yeah, I can help. Okay, yeah, Bryan's gonna get some money. Okay, I feel better about this now. Now they can go to Bryan and be like, dude, you're shit out of luck, but you're still getting paid. And Bryan's like, okay, I don't have to do the drive and I still make money. Bonus.
Right.
That would be my.
What do you think? How would you handle that?
Well, very similar. Greg hit the head on the nail. One of the things he said at the beginning, and something that I do, whether it's that situation or not, is I never make people wrong. I'm like, you know what? You have a friend in the business or your family member. That's great. Is it somebody in the area that I might know? That's my first question. Because what he just said, 90% of the time it ends up being somebody who's an hour away, 2 hours away. I've even had a scenario where they were from a different state and they thought they could sell it here, right? And my approach is extremely similar to his. I basically boil it down to, you know what? Let's work together. So when they're out of the area, say you get two benefits. It's a win-win. You get the local expert who has proven results, and your friend, your family member, your cousin gets a piece of the pie too. And normally here, what I'm getting is, since the market's really good, we're getting a lot of new agents here. So 90% of the time it is a new agent. I say, look, that agent is not only going to get paid, they're going to learn from one of the best agents in the area. So not only are they going to get paid and get a transaction on the record, I'm going to teach them how to be an expert. So it's going to help them.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
And that's basically what Greg said is what I say. There may be a few different words here and there, but he hit the nail on the head. I agree with him. Find out the situation, which normally is somebody far away, then more than likely, most of the time I offer the referral fee because it works almost every single time.
Yeah, it really does. The only thing is, the caveat there is that, let's say it's Bob Smith, he's a big agent in the neighborhoods that you work. Look, you're not going to get him away from another family member at that point. Yeah. So you know what? You're in very competent hands. I'm ecstatic that you have great representation. Maybe I'll have the opportunity to bring in the buyer, but I don't want to make Thanksgiving awkward for you. So I'll keep my eyes and ears open for the buyer for your home.
Do you guys push that in terms of, well, do you really want someone like knowing the intimate financial details of your transaction? I mean, that script is out there. Do you guys ever use that one?
No.
That's
a lame duck, thing, because that just sounds fucking desperate. Oh, we don't want to have everyone know the inner workings of what you're doing, do you? But some stranger like me, that's a better choice. Fuck. No.
I agree. Same thing with calling FSBOs and lying to them and telling them you have a buyer. I don't preach, nor do I buy into bullshit. So I'm always straight up and upfront with people, and that normally always gets you the business.
Yeah. Absolutely, Bryan. I mean, you cannot go out there lying. These people will smell you out immediately. And now, guess what happens? Your reputation in this business is about this big. And if you start lying, it goes to be about this big. Yep. Everyone's who's listening to me on iTunes and Stitcher, my fingers are together. You have no reputation now. You are now dead in the water. Right. This Matt Johnson guy is a total crook and a liar. He always comes around saying he has a buyer, but he has no buyers. He's a typical real estate agent. Throw him to the wolves.
All right. Before we dig into door knocking, Greg, you want to give some people some shout-outs real quick, and then I'll mention a couple of sponsors.
To the wolves.
After you violently insult me for something I don't do.
And never will do. That's the best part about it.
Yeah, exactly.
First off, Natasha, what an awesome talk I had with you the other night. Matt, this woman is such a kind, giving human being. She's really talented at real estate, too. She's really, really good at it. And at the end of our talk, we talked for about an hour and a half or so. Actually, we went almost 2 hours. And she's going to do an article on us. I'm sitting down with her next Tuesday. She's gonna prep some questions. She's gonna write it up and get it out to all of her people. Put it on social media and really blast it out. We'll take it and do the same for us. So Natasha, thank you for that. And then Chuck, last night our conversation was epic, brother. I mean, I had so much fun. I had a good time talking with you this morning. Matt, check this dude out, man. He is like, we want to talk about fresh off the boat. I mean, he's so fresh off the boat. His shoes are still wet. And
Okay.
Chuck, getting his license like last week, right?
Oh.
But he's in an ISA role for an agent, and he used to do insurance sales. He used to sell insurance to used car lots. Holy shit, that could not get any harder, right? But he killed it, and so now he is setting appointments for the other agents on this team, like they're going out of style by being friends with him. And so I offered him up. I'm like, how much do I have to pay you to do that for me? And so we struck a deal. He's going to start working for us, moonlighting for us, and on the weekends and nights and stuff. And Chuck, you're awesome. I really cannot wait to watch your growth, man. You are going to be a superstar in this business. I'm done. I'm short and sweet today, buddy.
Holy cow, that was short. All right. So the shout-outs from my part, just a quick thank you to Viral Marketing for writing a check to make Hangouts and podcasts like these happen. So they do an awesome job running Greg's East Bay Real Estate video blog, so you can check them out at getviral.com. And then Equity with 2 Qs, online buyer lead generation. So if you're looking for a way to generate a smaller number of higher quality buyer leads that you can actually follow up with and turn into actual clients and actual commission, just reach out to Greg about that. He can tell you where it's available, and even if it's not, regardless of where you're at in the country, if you can rustle up 4 other agents who want to go in on it together, they can bring that to you. So just take the McDaniel Challenge. So Greg, quickly, what is the McDaniel Challenge and how do people reach you?
Well, Matt, the McDaniel Challenge is that magical night where your life will change forever, and we'll be able to spend an hour talking together. It is an opportunity, guys. I do an hour of free coaching. It usually turns into like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and sometimes even more because I have so much fun talking to all you amazing human beings. But it is awesome. If you got something that's you're stumbling over, tripping, something blocking you, something that's just you're not getting to that level that you really truly want to be at and believe you should be at, guys, call me. Seriously, this thing right here, it rings. I swear to God. If you press sequentially 925-915-1978. Let me repeat that one more time. 925-915-1978, and this little thing rings. It's amazing. It does function. And if it rings during the show, I'll show you how it works. But book a time immediately with yours truly, and let's get to know each other, guys. I cannot wait to hear your voices. I'm booked out about a month, so if you want to get on the books, get off your ass and dial it in that order, and we'll repeat it at the end in case you missed it.
That's right. And if you're listening to this version, the audio version, like in your car, please do not wreck your car attempting to take down those numbers. Go to McDanielChallenge.com. It's all there. So Bryan, getting back to you. So let's talk about door knocking. And before we went on the air, you were sharing a story about how you knocked on some high-end homes. I was curious about what the difference is between just your average run-of-the-mill middle-class home versus maybe some high-end or luxury homes. So please share with the folks what you shared with us before we went live.
Yeah, sure. It's a funny story. I went with another agent named Grace. She's out in Beverly Hills. She had reached out to me and said, you know what, I know you're the door knocking guy, let's do it. So we go north of Wilshire Boulevard, and anybody here who knows about Beverly Hills knows that north of Wilshire, kind of close to the Beverly Hills Hotel, is a really nice area. You're talking big lots, big properties, security gates, security codes, the whole nine.
Like movie stars live up there, right?
Me being crazy, I said, you know what? Because we hit a few call boxes, but it's really easy for somebody to tell you, you know what, you're a realtor pissed off. So I said, okay, I get creative with it. So I started testing the doors, and maybe because it's Beverly Hills and there's no crime, they're all unlocked. So I said, you know what, let's go through. She told me, you're crazy. She actually let me go by myself the first couple times. I said, all right, I'm going to have all the fun on my own. So I open the door, open the security gate, I go through, and they have these security boxes at the front door too. But I said, I'm just going to knock. So I knock, and the first one, somebody answers. They're like looking at me. I go through my whole little introduction. One of the best conversations I've ever had at the door. It's a $5 million house. They're like, hey, you're a realtor? Oh, man, you're actually working. What's up? Fast forward. I did that for a while. I was going at least 1 or 2 days a week with her. Never had a bad interaction. Never had anybody tell me, hey, there's a gate. What are you doing? Everybody was nice. And we can talk more about that later, and I can give more reasons why I believe I get good reactions like that, even in those situations. But it's crazy. People, when I tell them that, they don't believe me. They think I'm making it up.
Yeah, well, that's what we're talking about, Greg. I mean, Greg, you're knocking on $1 million homes, every day, and you have been for a while. So what's your experience been?
I'm exactly the same way, man. I go to areas, there's another city around the corner called Concord. It's a little bit more of a working class, a little bit more of a blue collar environment. Much harder, they're I don't know if they're just put off that someone else is coming to their door, and then, some neighborhoods, someone coming to a front door might mean a threat, or might mean, oh shit, there's another Cutco salesman, get off my front porch. But it all has to do, like Bryan, and it's about how you present yourself. What's your attitude? What's your stance? How's your behavior? Are you actually smiling? Are you bringing something of value? Are you wearing a dark hoodie and crouching in the corner and saying, hello, I'm a realtor? That's going to freak people out. But if you stand there and you're like, hey, what's going on? My name's Greg McDaniel. I'm with such and such brokerage. Here's some information. What's going on? And engage with them. They're going to open up and talk to you. And they're going to be kind to you. And since they've hustled, at least one of them has, if not both of them have, that live in that house, they had to hustle their asses off to get where they are. They respect and knows, a hustler out there that's trying to make their life better. And like Bryan was saying, they will compliment you on it and be like, dude, you're hustling, man. Rock and roll, dude. Nice work.
Absolutely.
Well, Bryan, so quickly fill people in on where you're at, what your average price point is, and then maybe let's dig into the actual approach and what your introduction is that you use.
Sure. I'm in Rowland Heights, which is basically on the border of Los Angeles and Orange County. For people who don't know Rowland Heights, it's near Fullerton, Brea, Whittier, La Habra, those cities. Average price point for me, around $500,000 now. It has been going up. When I started, it was probably closer to about $400,000, to be honest.
Cool. All right. And then, Greg, you're running what, 1 to 1.3, but probably similar housing?
Yeah. I mean, what do we have back here? I mean, the lowest we have on the board right now is for 825. The highest is 3.7. I mean, so we take the whole gamut. I mean, average is about $1 million, $1 million, $1.3 million is kind of our average price point, give or take. I mean, you can buy a piece of shit for $600,000 next to the freeway, next to a main road that needs construction, that has termite problems and an infestation, of bad neighbors. But
there's guys outside in black hoodies crouching, waiting to jump you when you leave the front door.
It's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Agent. Oh my god.
That's funny.
All right, we're gonna have to turn that into a graphic and post that. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Agent. Really, Greg? Oh. Okay. Anyway, all right. So Bryan, let's go through what's your. Greg kind of gave us his a little bit of his intro spill, and Greg, you talk about like handing someone a flyer, right off the bat. But Bryan, what are you using? If you were to go and door knock tomorrow, what would you say? And Bryan dropped off. So Greg, what's the deal with? He'll rejoin us shortly. So Bryan, you just came back, but I was just asking you, like, what's your introduction script? If you had to go door knocking tomorrow, what would you say?
Don't tell me you epically did it twice right at that point.
My twin.
Yeah. All right, you with us now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right. So we were like twice in a row. Okay. So I was just asking, what's your intro script when you actually get to the door? If you had to go door knock tomorrow, what's the first thing you would say when you roll up to the door?
Right. I feel like you guys are kicking me out.
For our own humor.
Very simple. Like we'll stick to what I would call a random door. I introduce myself. This is the difference. I say, hey, morning, usually because I go in the morning, hey, my name is Bryan. I'm a local real estate agent. One of the first things that comes out of my mouth is one of two things. Either I'm only going to be a second or I'll be out of your hair quick. Now, the reason I say that is one of the first things people think, the average person, when you show up to their door is...
He's right. People think that you're going to sit there and talk their ear off, and they're already annoyed at the fact. So there he is. Come on back in, man. I was filling in for you on that thing.
So like I was
that's
saying,
awesome.
I'll introduce myself. I'll drop that, and I'll say, you know what? I'm only going to be a second, because the first thing I know people think, and even I remember from my childhood when people would door knock my parents, it's how long is this person going to be here? So by me, the funny thing is when I say that line, more than half the people will step outside of their front door and say, how can I help you?
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right. Now, how far back are you standing?
Typically, because I'm a pretty big dude. I'm like 6'2", 6'3". I'll step at least, I want to say 8 to 10 feet back.
Mm-hmm.
Not like at the front, on the street, but just
The edge of the lawn.
Wait in the street, but
You're not waving your arms trying to get their attention. Yeah.
Yeah, about 8 to 10 feet typically. Now,
right.
my body language normally, when I first interact, is a little bit more open. I don't put my hands behind my back or in my pockets. I want to be as low threat as possible. And like Greg said earlier, smile. I don't know if you guys noticed on this, I'm always smiling. My smile is ear to ear. And I'm sure Greg knows this too. If you show up with ear to ear smile, and they even show up low energy at the door, within 5-10 seconds, they're smiling too. It just rubs off on people, right? So typically what I'll do is I'll introduce myself, I'll throw the time constraint, like I call it the false time constraint, because you're going to keep asking them questions. Normally I give market information. I say, hey, I'm just popping by giving everybody a quick update. We've had around here about 45 homes sell in the last 30 days. And the interesting part is we've had 25 out of the 45 sell above or at or above asking price. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. Tell me more, Bryan.
Cool. Yeah, pretty exciting news, isn't it, Greg?
It is. I'm actually very interested in this.
Yeah, cool. So then from there, I just get into the whole tidbit. Like you've seen in other scripts, we know that when homes start selling like that, we're going to see some more movement in the neighborhood. Just curious to see when you guys were maybe thinking of making a move, and I'll go into the series of questions. It's very simple, but that beginning portion, in my eyes, is giving value. So the likelihood of them engaging with me is a lot higher, and that script, out of a lot that I've tried, has been the most successful for me.
I have never, ever, ever tried that, and I don't know why I've never tried it. Maybe because in my mind I just knew I just wanted to talk to them, and if they didn't want to talk to me, I wouldn't do it. But it's fascinating how well it works, because it's the same old thing. You're tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them, right?
Right.
So you're already telling them, hey, look, I'm not going to be here. I'm not a threat. I'm not going to try to sell you something. I'm not going to take up your whole day. I don't have some pre-planned script that you're going to gag on. You know, you can get through this. I want to go door knocking right now, Matt. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to Bryan, good to meet you. I'm going to go.
Shoulder roll right out the window behind you, go running.
Yeah, I'm sure with you, Greg, like me now, you've gotten to the point where you're really good and you can say whatever you want. You could still get through the conversation. But I've noticed that really is a precursor to getting people's information at the end, because my goal is if they're not ready or they're going to do something in the next couple of years, I want to capture their cell phone and email and stay in touch, because I know, one, a lot of people aren't door knocking, and two, I've already made the connection. So when I email them, send them video emails, call them, they already know me. I've had people who I've door knocked with that script. I mean, I messed up and didn't follow up with them for 6 months after I added them to my database, and when I called, they say, oh, hey, Bryan, good to hear from you.
You're like, I did something right. That's awesome. So,
cool.
do you ever use the Ford script when you're out there to keep the conversation going?
The Ford script. No, I haven't heard of it.
Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Matt will get me your email. I'll send you over a link to a PDF of it. And the other one is the technique that I found that was incredibly helpful for getting their information. So I have my Hobbit pad, or AKA as the other humans on this planet call yellow pads.
Right.
Let's say this is your information, like your door knocking, and these are your notes and everything.
Right.
The way I get information at doors is I don't miss a step. I say, Bryan, it's great talking with you, man. What's your best email just in case? And then I look down at the thing, and the script is, what's your best email just in case? And that's where you stop, because their mind's going, just in case what? Zombie apocalypse, house sells, rabid horde of bees come flying into the area I need to be aware of. What's going on? Okay, just in case. Oh, shit, man. Okay, it's Greg. It's McDaniel.44@gmail.com. Remember, there's a dot between the 244. Okay, you got it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
People use that. I've used it. Have you ever tried that one as well?
Something similar. I like that because it's very assumptive, and the fact that you ask and then you look down, that's exactly what I do when I get the number and the email, so it's right along the lines of what I do.
Yeah, if you'd just gotten it from Matt and from me and from Bob, the other houses, why in the heck wouldn't this guy give it to you? It's just the way things get done. I think a lot of times, though, agents are afraid to ask for that question, They're afraid to reach out.
Or they get nervous, and people can feel that. Like if you're asking for it, and they're like, could I maybe have your number? And I've seen agents do it, and I literally have to step in. I'm like, you know what, sir, give me the number. I'll take care of you.
I'll let the child follow up with you later.
Right.
But it's like going back to a junior high dance. You're sitting in the corner all nervous, sweating bullets. There's a hot chick. Should I ask her to dance? Should I not ask her to dance?
Right.
No, I'm not. I'm going to walk away. And that's where people lose. You know,
Right.
I see Matt just grinning ear to ear. I don't know if you guys can see this on replay.
Anyway, all right. So Bryan, what's a good clip? What's a good average for you in terms of how many doors you can hit? What do you consider success if you're out there for 3 or 4 hours?
Well, I think we did the math. I can do about 100 doors on my own in about 2 hours and change, maybe 2.5, depending on the neighborhood.
You
Like
can
if
do
I'm in
100 doors in 2 hours?
no, 100 doors.
In 2 hours?
2 hours and 20 minutes, roughly, yeah.
Damn, that is good, man.
Now, if I'm doing your neighborhood of $1 million ones, probably half to three-quarters of that because of the walking distance. But the thing is when I knock, I don't sit there and wait for 30 seconds or a minute. I'll give them 15, 20 seconds tops.
Mm-hmm.
And in between the homes, and I'm known for this, I have like the rainbow-colored shoes, the sneakers. I hustle. I don't waste time. I don't pull out my phone. I'm not Facebooking. I tell people, look, I'm going to go door knock for 2 or 3 hours. Do not contact me. I have my phone on silent and just open to take numbers if I get them, because I don't even do the pad anymore. I just exchange people's numbers and emails on the phone, text them, I'm gone. And
Nice.
I literally almost jog in between the houses because I know time is money. Because a lot of people will tell me, oh man, I've gone for 3 hours and I've only done 60 doors. I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm in good shape too, but I hustle. And like if you guys were to put a camera on me, you would see like, wow, this guy's hustling, this guy's running.
Matt, we're sending a GoPro to him.
That's right.
It's our next video. That would
be awesome, actually. GoPro door knocking video.
We're gonna chest mount that thing on you. We're gonna see him talk to people and then jiggle, 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 jiggle. Boom. Next person.
That's right.
I'm down.
All right, cool. All right, so 100 doors in 2 hours and change. All right, so Greg, you're surprised because I've heard you say this before, at least for your area. Your average is what, 25 an hour?
We're about 25 an hour, and I mean, I agree with Bryan 100%. I mean, he nailed it on the head because of the distance of the homes. In different marketplaces, as you well know, they're sometimes are much closer, sometimes just spread out. So of course, that's going to make a huge difference in regards to your time frame. So if you guys can't do the 100, like super knocker Bryan, don't beat yourself up on it. It's not a race. Your job is out there to build a relationship. And when Bryan's not hustling because he's not hearing someone, he's getting to that next guy, right? I mean, you're there to engage. And how long will you stay with someone at a front door if you're building a good relationship? That's actually a really good question.
If we hit it off, I've had some conversations that were 10 or 15 minutes, but at the same time, I try not to stay too long. If I can get the information exchange, I'll set up a later time to chat with them and talk more, but I know that I'm out there to hit a certain number. So even if it's really good, I try to keep it no longer than 5 to 7 minutes most of the time.
So what's your script? Let's say I'm a chatty Cathy and I'm bored to death because I'm homesick or I work from home and I don't see other human beings for 12 hours, and oh my God, a living human being on my front door. Let's talk. And what's the script that you're going to use on me to gracefully exit and then follow up?
I'll say, you know what, Greg, I hate to interrupt. However, I got an appointment I got to run to. It was great meeting you. If I didn't get your number yet, I'm going to say, let's exchange information and stay in touch, and we'll chat later. You want me to call you later today at 5, or would 7 be better?
That's good.
Cool.
That's really good.
And I'm gone. And I'll call him maybe and just say, hey, I know I had to run. I had an appointment. It went well. And then I'll talk to him for a few minutes, and then sometimes with people that are really chatty like that I want to build a relationship, I'll even invite them out to lunch, maybe that week or the next week, just to chat with them. If they love to talk, if I have a 30-minute lunch with them, we're good.
That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea on how to build a relationship. Again, Bryan, you've taught me something I have never done. I liked it.
All right, guys. So just a quick functional question in terms of like if you're trying to hit a pretty good maximum number of doors for a couple hours. So are you like where are you parking, and then how long will you walk in between versus like getting back in the car and going over to the next neighborhood over? I mean, how many doors can you hit in between having to actually get in the car and drive?
Well, it depends on the plan of attack. Typically now we'll pick an expired and door knock, 15, 20 doors around that and then move. But if I just pick a regular neighborhood, I won't go more than 3 or 4 blocks away before I move the car, because I know, or what I'll do is I'll park, walk to the opposite end, and then door knock my way back to the car, and then go to the next neighborhood, just to be a little bit more efficient.
Okay, gotcha.
Very
Greg, what about you? Things are a little bit more spread out in your area, so I'm curious about that.
For me, I don't know. Maybe I've been doing it wrong, but for me, I drive in and park the car, and then start on one side of the street, and I just go, and I'll just follow the cul-de-sacs on the other streets. I just go. I just don't stop going until I can either loop back to my car, or I run out of flyers, and then I walk my sorry ass all the way back to the car. It's like doing the walk of shame after door knocking. I'm the guy that put the flyer on your house. Yes, that's me. It's okay.
So it's like the walk of shame, but hopefully with better hair.
Yes, with better hair and fully clothed. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, so Bryan, quick question for you. So what's the difference? You mentioned that you'll door knock around expireds. So what's the difference for you between that type of door knocking, where it's more specific, or somebody that tried to put their home on the market and failed to sell it,
right,
versus just general door knocking, like in a Target, like a farm neighborhood?
Well, if I door knock an expired or a FSBO or a hotter lead like that, I guess you can say I really turn up. I'm not sleazy, but I turn up the aggressiveness a lot, because if someone's an expired and I find out they have to move, they have a job transfer, whatever it is, I'm gonna push. I've learned to not be abrasive when I push. I learned Mike Ferry, so I was very like a jackhammer when I started. But I've worked on my communication skills, and I've gotten a lot better. But I guess the whole focus becomes, okay, I can really go for an appointment here, because when I door knock an expired or a FSBO especially, I'm gunning for the appointment even on the first contact. As long as I don't get too over the top. On a general door knock, I'll see, engage, capture their information, and it's a lot more relaxed. An expired to FSBO, it's like I'm putting on my hard hat, I got my lunch pail, and I'm going to work,
I like, because you are going out there to work. I mean, that is what you're doing. It's nice to build a relationship, but if you know there's a want, need, or desire on the other side of that door, and you are a proficient professional that knows what you're doing and can actually get them there at a higher dollar price in a shorter amount of time, why not show them that?
Absolutely, man. I agree, because my mindset, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, even with regular doors or an expired or FSBO, is, what? My mindset is I'm the best person for the job, and it's my duty to influence this person and help them realize Bryan is the guy I need to go to if I want to sell and move to Iowa or wherever it is that they're going. And it's my job to help them realize that.
That sounds like a horrible. I'm from Iowa. That sounds like a horrible idea. No one should move from Brea or Roland Heights to Iowa. Please don't do that.
But actually,
okay, well, this brings up a good question, though. I'm going to cut you off.
No. You cut that. You pipe down there. Okay. No. So we're gonna, Bryan. You said something that maybe people didn't pick up on right there. That is incredibly. It is the deciding difference between success and not succeeding on the doors and talking to people. What you said is that you made your mind up. You mentally went into it already successful, which chemically in your body changes your energy outflow to what they're picking up. So if you're going out there with a defeatist mindset, oh, I don't think they're going to like me. Oh, everyone's already been here. Oh, I don't know. It's hot out. Why? I think I'm sweating too much. Ooh, did they hear me fart? I don't know. It's not that. But if you go out there and you're just like, you know what? I'm going to make this house my bitch. They need me. They want me. I'm the best in the business. They deserve the best, and that's why I am here.
Yeah, and you know very well, especially if you're weak, they'll chew you up and spit you out.
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat. But if like you said, if you go out there, you made your mindset up that you're going to do it. I truly believe that's almost half of your success rate, because you've already decided that it's yours.
Yeah, there was one guy I remember specifically. This was months ago. I ended up getting the listing, but right away after, I'd set the appointment with him, but he's like, "Why should I choose you?" I was like, "Look at your clock right now," and it was like 7:45. I was like, "Has anybody even come to your door or called you yet?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Exactly, that's why. Let's go."
That's awesome. Look, bitch, I'm here, aren't I? What do you think? What are your other two wishes? I'm here.
Right.
All right. Well, a couple quick questions. So I've got one from the Facebook group that's about door knocking specifically. We'll get that to that in a second. But Bryan, do you have any great tips on developing your mindset, working on your body language, your energy before you hit the doors?
There's this great tool that I discovered a long time ago that you guys know about too. It's called YouTube. I think a lot of people use YouTube for entertainment, but I don't think they realize the depth of information that's available on it. I can give them books and everything, but if you go on YouTube and you start, like, let's say somebody wants to become a better communicator. If you search great speakers on YouTube, you'll get hundreds of people who are phenomenal speakers. As far as the mindset, you know, that is a process of self-development. I tell people I didn't come out of my mom's womb this confident. You know, I've been chiseling away at myself like a statue for the last, you know, 2.5 years that I've been in the business, and just really, it's a daily thing. You know, I think a lot of people asking that question want a magic pill to where next week they wake up confident. It's going to be a process. Like when I hit the first door of my career, I was nervous as shit.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were too, but you fast forward a couple months later after doing hundreds and thousands, I developed it. So that people need to pick something, whether it's a book or start looking at stuff on YouTube and build at it. You know, it's going to be a process. There's not going to be one special book or video that's going to help you. It's something you have to continually develop every single day. You know, like look up Jim Rohn, you know, all those other guys that you know about that are motivational. Listen to them every day. Take the knowledge they give you and don't just read it, apply it. And you'll see after a couple months, a year, you'll be what you wanted to be originally when you asked a year ago.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Matt and I did a show about body language, and there's a lady by the name of Amy Cudley. She did a TED Talk, attractive blonde, about to here, with like I think a purple top and a black jacket on. Have you seen hers about body language?
Yeah, I just watched it yesterday, I think.
And so you know about the power poses.
Yep.
You know, I do power poses, you know, and that's one thing that gets me going right away. And like you, I watch YouTubes religiously. I'm constantly watching. My team is always annoyed at me because I have something inspirational playing and I have to turn it off because they don't want to be inspired for some odd reason. I don't know why. But you know, I've always joked around for everyone who's watching this and going, these two are lunatics. I am never going to go door knocking. Well, guys, I can guarantee you the first human being you come in contact with is going to be an awesome experience. The hardest door you ever are going to face is going to be your car door. Okay? Opening the damn thing up and getting outside.
Yeah. Seriously, and I can give somebody some insight. I had one door knock last year that hopefully this will get you up off your ass. Random door knocked them. They wanted to sell. 24 hours later, I listed the house for $650,000, full commission. End up through my database finding the buyer.
Nice.
So I double dipped that one, double dipped the other listing from a call I got from it, and they referred me another listing. Okay. So from that whole string, that door turned into literally like 70, 80 grand of commission in like 45, 60 days.
Well, there you go, guys. Get your bitch asses out and start door knocking, because that is going to result in some serious income. And it's so true, Brian. It's so true. I mean, all you have to do is just get out and just hit the doors, man. Just go be friendly. Go be nice. Go introduce yourself to someone you don't know yet.
Right.
Very awesome.
All right. So let's get to this one. This quick question here from so it's Brenda Baldino. And she said, I placed an ad on Facebook last week and have gotten 13 leads for valuations. I've called everyone with a phone number and emailed everyone twice. I think I'm going to bite the bullet and do door knocking. Yep. So these are people where she's actually gotten them to type their address into a home valuation site. So she's looking for, you know, what to do, what to say, what do you bring, that sort of thing. So if you know it's a home value lead and you're basically targeting them directly as a door knock instead of just randomly coming across them in a neighborhood, do you do anything differently, Brian? Is your scripting different? Do you bring something with you like a shortcut CMA, something like that?
You know, I haven't done the online lead thing, but if I got an inquiry saying, you know, what's my home worth, or, you know, we may be interested, if I went to the door, I would probably give them a market snapshot, because have you guys heard of the website dqnews.com?
Oh yeah.
DQ, right. That is when I door knock and I give information, I always give stuff like that. I'll tell them, look, you know, year over year the market's gone up 12%, whatever, just a basic sheet, and I might give them that. However, the whole, I guess you can say, point of my conversation is going to be motivation, because I want to find out, you know, are they interested in selling now, in 3 months, 6 months? What do they really want, you know? Because the value of the house, I always talk about at the presentation. You know what I mean? I might give them like a snapshot or maybe some recent sales if they want it, but I'll immediately get into the motivation. And I've had calls like that where they ask me for a home evaluation, have a 5-10 minute conversation with them, and I have a listing appointment because they're motivated, they want to sell. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's the way I would go about it. I would just talk to them, open the conversation, find out what they want, what their needs are, and then see if we can do something now or in the future.
Yeah.
Interesting. Greg, what do you say?
What say I, Matthew? So it's considered I consider it a pop by, not a door knock. The same exact thing, but instead of door knocking, shotgun style into a neighborhood, you're popping by. You're laser focused in on one home. So Bryan, are you familiar with the RPR reports that every agent has access to?
The RPR.
So you go to narrpr.com, and it's free for all agents, and you can print out specific reports with comps and prices and all kinds of stuff that you can print and then give it to them. There's also another site called homedisclosure.com.
Okay.
And homedisclosure.com will run an in-depth report for your property. Home disclosure is run by Realty Track. It's super simple. Put the address in, it pops it up, you print it out, you bring it over to them. It's something no other agents can be bringing to them.
Right.
I would bring a RPR and a home disclosure, drop it off with your brand as a cover page, and we have a booklet about our team right here that I've shown a couple of times. Is that upside down? No. With information about our team and what we do and blah 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 that I bring as well. I try to oversaturate them with information, knowledge, reports, colorful things that they can read and put themselves to sleep reading. But it's still something that no other agents are going to go over the top with.
Right.
And like you do a phenomenal job at being able to get that appointment set. That's just the kind of stuff that I've brought, and I tell them, hey guys, these are computerized reports, so they're not going to have the accurate price point. They didn't know about the upgrades you guys have done. That's why I want to come on by and meet you face to face. I tried to reach out to you on other levels. I mean, they're going to love the hustle. They're going to they think that you took forever giving these reports. Whenever realistically, you're print.
Click.
Yeah, but it's something that they want. So that's what we do.
Okay, cool. I like it. All right, so Bryan, let's finish up this conversation by kind of filling people in on what you're doing on YouTube. Obviously, you're putting out a ton of educational content and shorter videos and stuff like that. So, what are you doing, and what kind of content are you putting out there?
Cool, appreciate that. Like I mentioned about me watching Greg on YouTube. Yeah, I was really looking for I found so much motivational, but I didn't find real estate people saying, hey, I'm door knocking all the time besides Greg or maybe one or two other guys who made one video and then stopped. I was like, I really am looking for something like this, and I could never find it.
Yeah.
And besides that, I knew there would be people coming into the business who maybe were in my position where you really had no plan B, had no sales experience. The people who you consider your loved ones aren't supporting you, and you're pretty much on your own. I said they need an outlet or somebody to tell them, you know what, you can do it. Because I didn't come in with any extra money. I just came in with a pair of sneakers and a fist to door knock and a hand to call with. And that was the whole reason I made the YouTube channel. Now moving forward, right away in the business, I realized how important your mindset is and personal development, because you're going door to door, you're calling, you're going to get rejected a lot. You have to have thick skin and you have to rise above it. And I didn't think that or know that before I got into the business. So as I started learning, and I read a book or two a week now. I'm very in it, always learning. And that's why I put these little short clips in videos, because when I have another thought or something occurs in my life where I react to it now versus how I would have reacted to it 2 years ago, I'm like, oh, that's a great point to put on video because people need to hear this. And it's just me going through life, experiencing it, noticing the growth, and then putting out a video. And I think it helps people a lot. I get messages, I'm sure, like Greg does all the time, oh, thank you so much, or can you talk about this? I'm having trouble with it. And I feel like that was a missing link that I fit in the real estate niche, because there's people that do it in other, like you see Tony Robbins and people like that, but I felt like there was no real estate guy or gal that was putting out good stuff and saying, hey, this is what you need to do this, hit doors, and so forth. That's where I feel like I fit.
Yeah, that's awesome. There are a lot of people out there that are searching like you were, Bryan, and you're doing a very valuable service to our industry, because our industry is desperately crying out for not canned bullshit, but legitimate styles of speech that they can put into their business and then go back out and use that moment. I actually just got a message on this Hangout. On our stuff that's streaming live to YouTube right now from Daniel Brewer. He's like, just got back from door knocking in Lower Georgetown. Stay-at-home dads looking for a fight. Ha 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 ha. Thank God I don't think you and I run into that very often, but so I had to share that. He just brought that in. But I mean, nice. Guys, if you guys, I know you got value out of Bryan. I know that for a fact. I did. I'm taking notes over here, and you know what? Go watch his videos. I mean, you guys are going to become better by watching his videos.
Yeah, so Bryan, if you want to give out your YouTube channel, notice that I think you're on Periscope as well. So what's the best way for people to follow you and kind of watch what you're putting out there?
I'm all over the place, man. I have my YouTube channel. If you just type my name, Bryan Casella, you'll pull up my channel. I'm on Periscope. It's just my full name together. I have Instagram, I actually spelled my name wrong on Instagram. How funny is that? It's BRIARG20.
Oh, you can never give anybody a hard time about misspelling your name for the rest of your entire life.
I created it while I was door knocking, so I wasn't paying attention. So
that's the excuse you're going with, huh?
Yeah. Facebook as well. Actually, what's funny, and I want to plug this, and I'm surprised you haven't done it, Greg. I actually packaged together a door knocking product that I sell on my website.
Oh, nice.
And I feel like, Greg, you would definitely be more than qualified to do something like that. And, you know, this is the internet thing. You know, I learned from other people, just expanding my circle. You can do a lot with the internet. You know, the YouTube, you know, a door knocking product. It's on my website. It's myfullname.com. I've sold, I released it. I did a soft release like the middle of December. I've already sold 50, 60 copies minimum of the bundle. I have a video and audio bundle, or you can purchase it separately, and it's sold a lot more than I thought. I was just putting it out like, hey, let's see if anybody buys it. The first day I had like 10 people buy it. I was like, wow.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
All right, well, I'll put one together.
.com, and then you go to my products on the far right. Yeah, door-to-door mastery 101. I love it.
That is really cool. Again, a service being given to, you know, you're getting really good at coming back in really fast, by the way.
It's been fairly seamless for the fact that you've gotten kicked off this hangout like 20 times.
It really has been. His body has the button. He's like, click, go. Okay, I'm
quick learner.
That's right. That's right.
But hey, thanks for put that stuff out there for sure. That's awesome stuff, guys. You know, he's got a good content. Go buy it.
That's right. Well, cool. Well, I think that's let's button this one up and send it home. Greg, just we want to recap, how do people get in touch with you for the McDaniel Challenge?
I mean, club them over the head again for, you know, in the show.
That's right.
Phone number. All right, well, here's your final clubbing for the day, guys. Take the McDaniel Challenge. Please do it. Don't let Greg spend a night alone. I truly mean that. It will piss Matt off. We all like Happy Matt, not Mad Matt. Like Mad Max, Mad Matt. You know how that movie ended. It was bad. So call me, 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978. You'll spend an hour or more with me doing a one-on-one private hangout and call. Well, it's not a hangout. We'll just do a call. You know what? We're going to go through anything that's tripping you up that you need to get over, kind of mindset, goals, prospecting, you know, brokerage, anything that's stopping you from where you want to be. We will take it apart, put it back together in a workable fashion so that you can hit the ground running the very next day or even that night. So, guys, book me up. I am into April now. No, I have one more date in March, but get going, guys. These things are going to fill up, so please get your seat.
That's right. And hey, Bryan, just a quick question for you. Are you speaking anywhere? Do you speak at like board events in your area where people can actually go and see you live? Or are you doing any like NAR or car events?
No NAR car events. I'm doing a lender, I guess, over here in Ventura wanted me to speak at one of his events that he's holding. It's smaller though. I think it's like 50 or 60 agents. That's the end of March. I think he's going to give me the information, so if people want to be there, they can reach out to me. I'm also doing an event in Los Angeles, April 8th and 9th. For people who are interested, that can reach out to me. I can give them more information. That one, I think we're only going to take 20 people, and I've had 4 or 5 already kind of sign up for it. So that's going to be fun. It's all about, you know, not just real estate related, you know, money, entrepreneurship, real estate, making money, the internet. It's a bunch of stuff. It's
awesome.
It's more than just real estate, and I'm super excited because we're going to go 2 days of just jam-packed information.
That's
nice.
sick.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, right. We're in Los Angeles.
We're going to do it at the W, the hotel.
Oh, beautiful. Love that hotel, man.
Yeah.
So good job. Yeah, guys, reach out to him. Get your ass to the event. You're going to learn a lot, and it's going to encourage you if you guys are in the local, you know, LA area. Yeah, I wish I was in the LA area. Damn it.
We're going to live stream it, Greg, if you want to jump on.
I actually probably might. Don't challenge me on that. I might actually do that.
I'll take the McDaniel challenge. You take the Cassella challenge. Let's go.
Boom. Let's do this.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, let's send this baby home and encourage you guys to take the McDaniel challenge. And then if you want more information on Bryan's door knocking product, it's bryancasella.com, and then the link is my products over on the top right-hand side. So check that out. We've got a similar, like a video training product for farming that's on our site. It's McDanielRealEstateSystems.com, and then you can click on the farming training course link on that to check that out as well. So yeah, with that said, we'll be back. We've got you and I, Greg, are talking next week, Monday and Wednesday, about sales and training topics. We'll figure out what we're going to talk about, and then we have another special guest for next Friday, which I'm not quite ready to unveil yet. It actually got booked. I got a message while we were on the Hangout that we have a guest for next Friday, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, you mean the one that Caitlin sent? Do you mean that person?
Yes, that one. Okay. And then towards the end of the month, we've got the legendary Lars Hedenberg himself is going to be on the Hangout with us, talking about how to scale up your business and build your 4 pillars, and that's going to be awesome. So we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. So
yeah,
with that said, subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to head over to Bryan's channel as well, Bryan Casella. Subscribe to him on YouTube if you're not already subscribed, and then subscribe to our show on iTunes and Stitcher. So with that said, thank you so much, guys. This has been a blast. Reach out to both Greg and Bryan and connect with them, and we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, guys, we love you.
Appreciate it.
See you next week.